You're about to see rare historical photos that most people have never laid eyes on. Each one tells a story hidden from the pages of history. Stay until the end. The most unbelievable shots are waiting there. Early freckle removal looked like a contraption. Beauty tech before gentleness. January 2007. Vladimir Putin greets Angela Merkel with a black Labrador at his side, despite her fear of dogs. Geopolitics with a canine subplot. The Studebaker Monster Car, 1931, when size was the sales pitch. A 150-kilogram Science vacuum cleaner, 1906, housework as a strong man act. 2003, Mongolia, execution in a box for adultery, law as a weapon. Playful striptease humor through a master photographer's lens, the 1980s, a decade of blonde bravado and stylish risk. A human face without muscles, bones and tendons reveal the scaffolding beneath expression. Sophia Loren on The Countess from Hong Kong set, 1960, cinema in the act of making legends. Tilly Smith, 10, remembered her geography lesson on receding water. On Phuket in 2004, the ocean's warning met a child who listened. 1946, Bikini Atoll. America tests atomic fire. Islanders are moved first. Promises of safety trailing the ships. Early 1900s, children's roller skates. Simple, clever, unforgettable. President Reagan chats with a boy on Red Square. A future politician stands nearby. 1988, history in the background of a handshake. The Avengers, Holocaust survivors with a plan for revenge, poisoned the German water supply stopped by British hands before it turned to history. Eugen Sandow, father of bodybuilding. In studio, 1902, strong men, stronger traditions. One photograph at a basketball game spared a man the executioner. Sometimes justice is a frame with metadata. Kuwait, 1991, a girl hugs her goat and, briefly, the war loosens its grip. A soft 1957 portrait of Marilyn Monroe, an eternal face, newly lit. That viral Soviet sleep experiment monster is modern folklore, not fact. Inside Salvador Dali's home, 1939, furniture and decor promoted to art, surrealism in every detail. A Japanese widower dives the same ocean hundreds of times over a decade, looking for the one he lost, and surfaces only with salt and silence. Cockpit of a World War II Mitsubishi fighter, the thinnest line between human pulse and steel. Samson, a 19th century British titan on hooves, 219 centimeters tall, more than a ton of muscle and manners. Onlookers inspect wrecked cars after a crash, curiosity and caution in equal measure. Elodie, Iceland, the house alone on a green knuckle of rock. Solitude isn't empty when the sea keeps company. Keeping cool in 1976, a fan at work or a cold soda, summer survival within arm's reach. November 30th, 1994, Tupac bleeding, staring down the lens like a witness who won't recant. Charles Sheets photographs a New York skyscraper, 1932. Vantage points never go out of style. Two cousins of Queen Elizabeth II labeled deceased, hidden in an institution instead. One reached 66, the other 86. Secrets live long. Rigging creeks on a mountain pier, 1920. The sea always calls. Craig Lewis lived 5 weeks without a pulse. Life measured in flow, not beats. Soviet prams parked in freezing air. Parents swore winter naps forged stronger lungs. Algeria's missing man, 1996, found alive years later, kept in a well, the earth a prison. Tethered to bicycles to stay afloat, Germany, 1925, water leisure, engineered. She protested for civil rights, was sent for a sanity check because empathy seemed irrational on paper. A teapot-shaped truck rolls through Walla Walla, 1950, old school marketing with a wink. Under the sequoias of the 1950s, people look like punctuation marks at the end of sentences written by trees. A dancing couple enjoys bebop in London, 1949, music and heat enough to be happy. North Carolina, 2018, China goes underwater to outlast wildfire, insurance by river. A Red Cross nurse rushes to a wounded fighter, May 31st, 1918. Warm compassion in a Cold War. 6 months apart, two faces, drugs write faster than birthdays. England, 1941, a photo that explains itself. Faces carry the text. Rainbow honey baffled French beekeepers. The bees confessed, M&Ms on the menu. A cornfield portrait by David Dubnitsky, art that doesn't age with trends. President Kennedy breakfast with his daughter in the White House. 1961, statesmanship makes room for cereal. A U.S. airman under the barrel of a young Vietnamese girl's gun. Courage is sometimes choosing not to die. Forced perspective hands the moon to a stranger. Cheap trick, true delight. A Hiroshima watch frozen at the blast. Time volunteering as a witness. A Black Panther under a field of stars. 6 months of waiting for a single breathless second. Godzilla, 1954, rubber, sweat, and cinema alchemy. A vampire wasp tucks eggs under skin. Evolution doesn't flinch. Footprints push human North America back past 21,500 years. Prehistory leaves toes in the mud. A boy poses in his father's uniform. 1939. Tradition dressed a size too big. A Soviet soldier in Afghanistan, 1980, days stacked into a small, hard chapter. MSCHF's 2023 bag is smaller than a needle's eye, luxury turned into a laboratory specimen. A London bus tested for extreme tilt, 1933, public transport with balance issues. Alexander Doba paddled the Atlantic 3 times, last at 71. On Kilimanjaro, he won the summit and lost to sleep. A family road trips in a Fiat 500. Italy, 1967. Backseat adventure before seat-back screens. High schooler Dustin Gordon folds when the shooters turn out to be his friends. Grief with a double edge. Saddam Hussein's gold AK-47 in the Royal Armories. Vanity plated over violence. Self-portraits through dementia, each version saying goodbye to the last. Rarest castles prison level, architecture designed to end journeys. Walt Disney at Disneyland's birth, July 17th, 1955. Dreams poured in concrete and smiles. Spittlebugs blow foam homes. At 5 millimeters, they jump a meter. Imagine a person clearing a tower. A great white from below. Triangle, shadow, inevitability. A motorcycle helmet after 110 kilometers per hour. Scarred plastic where a skull should have been. CT cross sections at 120 kilograms and 57 kilograms. Volume, organ strain, and risk made visible. A fawn naps beside a shattered decoy. Innocence curled up with imitation. Moscow, 2014. Security tries to eject Travis Scott from his own show. Fame travels, recognition doesn't. The U.S. House Mace, authority given a handle since 1841. An Otoe tribe rider, 1908, freedom in motion, carried across centuries. Harriet Cole donates her body to science. Her nervous system becomes an anatomical exhibit. 1888, devotion to knowledge in the raw. A lifer's farewell kiss, love reduced to touch and time allotments. Burhanpur's mini Taj Mahal, $260,000 of marble for a marriage, and a magnet for wedding photos. London, early 1940s, Santa in a steel helmet delivering joy through the Blitz. She laughed at a 20-year hard labor sentence. Your government won't last that long. She was right. A White House photo op pauses for a sleeping child. Protocol yields to peace. U.S. cavalry under Yosemite's grizzly giant. Uniforms at the foot of a living cathedral. A newborn elephant survives his mother's rejection thanks to people willing to stand in as herd. 1974, near Xi'an, one terracotta head becomes 8,000 soldiers. Afterlife, logistics uncovered. The ovaries of a fruit fly under a microscope, biology styled like sculpture. A runner stumbles into a proposal shot, photobomb turned witness. A Monopoly board painted across a floor, game night as interior design. Florida's finest prank, 13-kilogram lead, dino feet printing prehistoric lies on Tampa's sands. Chicago, 1948, a mother selling her children, poverty with no euphemism. Beanie Babies divided in divorce court, community property gets cute. FBI agent Robert Hansen hunted spies while being one. Security breach wearing a badge. John Edward Jones, 2006. Head down in a Utah cave for 27 hours. Some rescues don't yield. Jacob Miller's Civil War scar sits between eyes. 30 years of life around a bullet. A fungus beetle in macro, odd, precise, and beautiful because it is. A camp prisoner points out a particularly brutal Nazi. 1945, truth captured mid-gesture. Stalin and Churchill in Yalta, 1945, Europe's future sketched at a small table. Laundry strung between New York buildings, sheets that gave a city its rhythm. A colossal dinosaur model heads to the Boston Museum. 1984, gridlock meets imagination. Italian boys proudly show pasta drying outdoors. 1928, culinary arts begin young. An Inuit husband warms his wife's feet. Love measured in degrees below zero. George Orwell at the Spanish Civil War front, 1937, the pen learning from the rifle. A high steel worker in New York, 1930, fearless hands building tomorrow. A family covered in tattoos, 1910, Granddad was a trendsetter a century ago. A mechanic repairs a seaplane mid-race, 1940, maintenance at full throttle. A photographer is craned up for London panoramas, 1929, proto-selfie stick at industrial scale. Climbers on the Great Pyramid of Khufu, 1875, tourism used to be a contact sport. Cassius, a crocodile said to be over 110 years and nearly 5 meters, longevity with armor, mass around 1,300 kilograms. Michelle, veteran angler, lands a 2.5 meter, nearly 300 kilogram bluefin, strength, timing, tide. George Stinney Jr., 14, executed in 1944. Conviction vacated 7 decades too late. San Diego's orangutan escape artist. 3 breakouts, accurate aim with rocks. Rays wear intricate skeletons. Simplicity is only a silhouette. December 2003, Saddam pulled from a hole, photographed into history. Cat sharks breathe through spiracles to rest under silt. Sprinters of the sea must swim to breathe. Colombia, 2003, 7 astronauts lost on re-entry, a nation grieving mid-air. Father and son, 6 months of discipline. Biology follows habit. "2 million trees in 18 years. One couple proves restoration is a human verb. December 2024. Swiss surgeon performs remote pig surgery in Hong Kong with a gamepad. Telemedicine levels up. Tokyo, before towers. Streets doing the vertical work. Renault's turns, fingers to ivory and blue, circulation stuttering. A homeless man robs a bank to see a doctor, triage by arrest. England's crinkle walls, wavy bricks that waste less and last longer. Elvis Presley signs a fan's head. Luck you can't wash off. The Challenger Deep is almost 11 kilometers down, and still there's a beer bottle. Proof our trash explores better than we do. 2 black parents welcome a blonde, pale child. Genetics plays jazz with expectation. London's tiniest shop, 1.82 meters by 1 meter and 60 centimeters deep, 1910, minimalism measured to the centimeter. A hotel lobby map recenters the world on China, cartography as manifesto. A man wheels a goat in its own goatmobile. Function meets whimsy. Workers lunch on a beam in the clouds. 1932. Height as part of the job description. FIFA's best fan. A mother describing the match to her blind son. Paris flood forces pedestrians onto chair bridges. 1924. Keeping feet dry by any means. David Bowie, Brian May, Roger Taylor, and Princess Diana in one frame. 1985. An image even modern Instagram would envy. After September 11th, Kenya's Maasai gifted 12 cows to the United States. Grief answered with what mattered most to them. Officer Joseph Kiesel, Titanic survivor, watches a commemorative broadcast. 1958. Survival retold to a flickering screen. A Florida judge dons a VR headset in court. Evidence shown from the criminal's eye view. Jurisprudence meets joystick. The Last Duel with Swords, Marseille, 1967, when politics still drew blood sport style. 1 million mosquitoes in a 20-centimeter pile, pestilence as a heap. European rulers posed together, May 20th, 1910. The last group selfie before history turned the page. A Danube VAR turbine powers a city, 1933. Electricity as civic heartbeat. A clown tries to cheer children in a hospital, 1930. Their expressions say it didn't land. A man living with only 10% of his brain. Function, finding workarounds biology never planned. Mussolini visits the wounded as censors blur the war's real face. A zoo giraffe tries to snatch a biscuit. Everyone knows a good treat. A gaming die from Egypt, circa 200 BCE, luck has ancient fingerprints. A Pennsylvania coffee shop welcomes its regulars. 1943, somewhere in America, coziness is invented. A miner's wife washes off the coal. 1931, family teamwork, the original version. Military bicycles in World War I, infantry gone eco. Jenny Joseph, 1992, shooting the face that would glow before Columbia Pictures films, myth minted frame by frame. 2015, George Pickering forces a pause on life support withdrawal. His son squeezes back, alive argues best. An iceberg flipped, sky blue cathedral, foundations up. And now we move on to interesting facts about historical figures. Ludwig van Beethoven, known for Titan of classical music, Ninth Symphony and the late string quartets. He felt music through the piano as hearing faded, channeling thunder into structure and changing what a symphony could be. Catherine the Great, known for Empress of Russia, territorial expansion and cultural patronage. She traded letters with Voltaire, bought art by the crate, and redrew maps as confidently as salon seating plans. Orville and Wilbur Wright, known for first controlled powered flight, aviation pioneers. 12 seconds at Kitty Hawk followed years of wind tunnel trials. Iteration as destiny. Queen Elizabeth II, known for longest-serving British monarch, modernizing the monarchy. She trained as a mechanic in World War II and learned to rule a camera as deftly as a crown. Florence Nightingale, known for founder of modern nursing, statistics pioneer. Her data visualizations, brilliant polar area charts, turned hospital reform into an argument no politician could ignore. French resistance often used young women to deliver messages right under soldiers' eyes. Renaissance Italy and Germany had cages for political dissenters. Hard to believe, but in the US, women couldn't even enter many bars until the 1960s. Thank you for watching, have a great day, don't forget history, and make sure to subscribe to the channel.